So I thought I'd tell you what I've read, what I'm reading, what I plan to read. So come along, let's see what's in my TBR, past, present, and future. Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. It's Russell with Ink and Paper Blog. How are you doing today? Happy Wednesday. I hope you guys are having a fantastic work week. Happy hump day. I hope you guys are ready for the weekend. I hope that the weather has been better. We are sort of in that transition period here in Northern California. So yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for the fall. I'm ready for sweaters and sweatshirts and warm coffee and cold mornings. I am ready. As I said, I am going to be doing a video today where I'm just going to tell you about some of the stuff that I've read recently, what I am currently reading right now, and then also some of my reading plans, just so you guys can see what's going on when I'm juggling my TBR. Sometimes stuff that's not coming out for a while just pops to the forefront. Sometimes I have to go back way in the past. So this is actually a great little video. All of these books are definitely worth your time, I promise. So as always, get out your pen, get out your paper, get out your Goodreads. Read along with me if you haven't read some of them, and tell me what you think about them, okay? So let's get started. Oh, and as I always say, if you're able, order these books from your local independent bookstore or have your library order them if they do not have a copy for you already. So the first book that I was going to tell you guys about that I read recently was actually a reread, which you know I don't do often, and I did it as an audiobook, and that's The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. Now, this is my original copy of The Handmaid's Tale that I read a very long time ago. Let's just say that. This one is just the original 1985 copyright. As you can tell, it is well worn. But I did not reread this exact copy because I did this as an audiobook. Audible has a fantastic audio version of this with Claire Danes as the narrator. I highly recommend. Now, with the Testaments coming out, I wanted to make sure that I read this book again because I wanted to make sure I knew who all the characters were and what the story was so that nothing was sort of lost on me in reading the sequel. And it had been a really long time since I had read the book. And I was worried a little bit, to be honest with you, because some of my friends have read it lately who had never read it, and they felt that it was a little bit dated. They felt that it didn't translate so much into current situation. I did not feel that way at all. I loved it all over again. I thought it was fantastic. Claire Danes is amazing as the narrator. She is great as Offred. And yeah, it was so good. So I'm highly recommending I'm highly recommend The Handmaid's Tale. If you've never read The Handmaid's Tale, please pick it up. But if you are looking for a fantastic audio version, check out Claire Danes' version of The Handmaid's Tale on Audible. Highly recommend it. I am not sponsored by Audible. Would love to be, but I am not. And I just highly recommend that version. It's very good. The next book I read, so you know how it is when I tell you that I'm always trying to wait till closer to a book coming out before I read it. That's why I've been holding on Jacqueline Woodson's book, why I waited so long for Colson Whitehead, Ta-Nehisi Coates. I've been waiting because they're not out yet and I want to read them closer to get you guys excited. Sometimes I cannot wait, and that is what happened with this book. And this is The Revisioners by Margaret Wilkerson Sexton. This doesn't come out till November 5th, you guys. But I loved A Kind of Freedom by Margaret Wilkerson Sexton. And I read a starred review in Publishers Weekly of this book, and I was like, I cannot wait any longer. I have to dive into it. I will do it full read and reviewed, but this book is freaking phenomenal. If you are looking for someone who just, it's like, you know what, I did a whole video on people, like books that are inspired by like the Toni Morrison just mythos of all of that. This book is that good. I'm telling you, it's that good. This is the story of two women, okay? The first woman we get introduced to is Ava. It's about 2017. Ava is mixed race. She is black and white. And at the beginning of the book, she's on hard times and she has been offered to move into the mansion of her white grandmother, who is much older and her health is failing. And so she and her son King move in to this house to take care of her grandmother so that Ava can save money and sort of get ready for that next step in her life. Now, she's never been as close to her grandmother as she wants, and there's disconnects within their relationship. And there are certain aspects that are told through the novel about the relationship that Ava's mother had with the grandmother character. And it is a very telling of the changing of times, the changing of relationships, how race is looked at differently and not so differently throughout a time period. Okay, that's Ava's story. The other story is the story of Josephine. Josephine is Ava's great-great-grandmother, I believe. And her story is told in two time periods. We have 1924. Josephine is all in her late stages of life. She owns a ton of land which she farms out to different people. Her son, Major, is actually running the farm when a young white couple moves in down the street, bringing with them tensions and racism that hasn't been seen in this part of Josephine's community. And also this has to do with Josephine's family in the future. Her husband is getting married, he has another young son, and all of that dynamic. We also go back to 1855 with Josephine and the story of her relationship with her mother and their escape from slavery. I'm not going to tell you much more about that because there's so much goodness in that whole thing. This is a dark book at times. Some of it is very, very sad, but it is also beautifully written, absolutely phenomenal. Great characters, great storytelling. I did not want it to end. And this isn't even a read and reviewed, guys. This is just me telling you this book is phenomenal. So that's The Revisioners by Margaret Wilkerson Sexton. This is out from Counterpoint Press on November 5th, 2019. If you haven't read A Kind of Freedom, please go do that. Please pre-order this book if you can. Support Counterpoint. They're a small independent press. Support Margaret Wilkerson Sexton because she is phenomenal. This book is so good. Okay, what am I reading right now? So I'm currently reading two books. One is not going to surprise you absolutely at all because it's the biggest book being talked about right now, and that's Margaret Atwood's The Testament, the sequel to The Handmaid's Tale. Told you I read it for a reason. I, of course, was at the bookstore on September 10th to get my copy of this book. I'm all bought into the hype. This is the story of 15 years after the end of Handmaid's Tale. It's told from three different points of view, two young women who are sort of talking to people after sort of an escape from Gilead. And then also we have the writings of Aunt Lydia, who, if you guys have read book one, you know who she is. I'm not going to spoil anything. All I'm going to say is I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. I was a book I didn't know I needed, and I am so glad that it's out, and I totally so far understand 100% why it's shortlisted for the Booker. I think it is phenomenal. So that is Margaret Atwood's The Testament. I will do a full review when I'm done of both of the books together for you guys, but really loving it. Okay. What else am I reading? I am currently doing a buddy read with my friends Kendra of Kendra Winchester and Jacqueline of 6 Minutes to Me of the essay collection, The Sources of Selfregard, Selected Essays, Speeches, and Meditations by Toni Morrison. We're taking this very, very slow. We're just reading a couple essays at a time, talking about them. Some of them are very short, some of them are longer, and we're just sort of dissecting them and having a fantastic conversation. It is very easy when Kendra Winchester and Jacqueline are your buddy read partners because they're both flippin' brilliant. And all I do is sit there and go, yep, you guys are really smart because you are so smart. They are so smart. And they just teach me so much. And Toni Morrison is teaching me so much. And yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. So that's The Source of Selfregard, Selected Essays, Speeches, and Meditations by Toni Morrison. Oh, I should read to you guys the most amazing sentence. At the end of, I think, the first essay or so, it says, "A writer's life and work are not a gift to mankind. They are its necessity." Toni Morrison speaking truth, you guys. Okay, what is up next for me? There's always a plethora of books that I want to read. You know that. And one of them is definitely going to be Jacqueline Woodson's Red at the Bone because I will be seeing her on September 23rd in Santa Cruz. Bookshop Santa Cruz is putting on an event for her. I already have my ticket. If you are in the area, please come with me. I would love to meet you, and I would love for you guys to support Jacqueline Woodson. I think she is freaking brilliant. Red at the Bone is the story of two families brought together by a teenage pregnancy from two very different economic and socioeconomic classes. She does it in short, brief things. You know, she's just so poetic. She's so good, you guys. So this book comes out on September 17th, so it's going to be out, actually came out on September 17th. That's yesterday. There you go. So please go get your copy of it. If you are local, please, I would love to see you down in Santa Cruz, seeing Jacqueline Woodson. So that is Red at the Bone. That is definitely high up, about to be read. The next one is a nonfiction book, and that is the memoir Homesick by Jennifer Croft. This just came out from Unnamed Press. You know I love myself some Unnamed Press. Jennifer Croft, you may not know, but you should. She is the translator. She is a translator. She was part of the pair that won the Booker International Prize 2 years ago with, the author's name is Olga, Polish last name. I'm not going to try to pronounce it because I don't want to butcher it. And Jennifer Croft translated Flights out from Riverhead. Get your copy. It's up here. You guys, definitely worth it. Now, this is her memoir, and it is out now from, and just take a moment, guys. Unnamed Press really did. Oh, so beautiful. So beautiful. But what is the book about? What is Jennifer Croft's memoir about? Sisters Amy and Zoe grow up in Oklahoma, where they are homeschooled for a singular reason. Zoe suffers from debilitating and mysterious seizures that can disrupt life at any moment. Spending her childhood in and out of hospitals and undergoing multiple surgeries, Zoe watches as Amy flourishes intellectually, gleaning through books and languages the possibility of a world beyond their uncommon life at home. This world becomes real when Amy's first love, a young Russian tutor Sasha, who changes the aspirations of both sisters. But it is only when Amy separates from her sister and enters university at age 15 that both their lives change drastically and with tragic results. So there you go. This is Homesick, a memoir by Jennifer Croft. Look, this is just beautiful. So support your local and independent presses. This is an LA press, Unnamed Press. This is a gorgeous book. I am super excited about this. Matthew Sharapa has already been raving about it. This is definitely on my to-get-to list. So these are the books. I'm going to try to put them in a pile for you guys here without causing a mess here. These are the books that I'm currently reading. Well, actually, I should start at the end. I have just read, currently reading, and plan to read in the very near future. As always, if you're a return subscriber to my channel, I thank you so, so much. If this is your first video with me, I hope you come back for more. As always, I encourage you to shop locally, read globally, and until next time, happy reading. Bye!